afternoon, class. My name is Specialist Kemp, and today we're going to be learning, going over lifelong learning. Just a quick lesson scope of what we're going to go over today. Today we will go over what lifelong learning is. We will also go over why lifelong learning is an important tool to use. We will also go over the different types of lifelong learning and go into like a deeper description of each of the different types of lifelong learning, and we'll follow up with those different types of lifelong learning with some examples. What is lifelong learning in your own words? Can you tell me what you think lifelong learning is?
I think lifelong learning is the concept of continuing to learn new things as you progress farther and farther into life.
Yeah, you're on the right track. I mean, that's actually correct. And you'll see here on the next slide what it says. All right, so lifelong learning is simply the continuous, willful, and inspired quest for information for one or the other individual or expert reason. So you're on the right track, it's just give it a different definition. So, okay, we're gonna go deeper into lifelong learning now. So lifelong learning can help us comprehend more of our general surroundings. With that being said, like with lifelong learning, as you get older, you tend to comprehend more like of what's going on around you in the outside world, to give it a better definition of that. And it also improves our satisfaction and freedom. Why is lifelong learning important? Can you tell me why you think lifelong learning is important?
I think lifelong learning is important because as we progress in life and time passes, things around the world change and technology advances, so we have to continue learning new things to keep understanding the world.
Yeah, that's a good answer, and you're on the right track. Lifelong learning is important because it helps you gain new knowledge throughout life and gives you better understanding of the world. So your answer was exactly correct. All right, so now we're going to go into the different types of lifelong learning. There's more than 3 types of lifelong learning, but these are the 3 most used types of lifelong learning. So the 3 types of lifelong learning is professional learning, personal learning, and self-directed learning. All right, so professional learning is when a teacher or instructor take their own education and to practice what they learn throughout their own teaching context. Can you tell me in your own words what that means?
I'd say like a science teacher, taking what he uses as a teacher, like going home and making his own scientific experiments.
Yeah, that's a good example actually. And we're gonna go into like the different types of examples on the next few slides. So you're on the right track. All right, so now we're gonna go deeper into professional learning. Professional learning is one of the most common types of lifelong learning. It's one of the most common types of lifelong learning because you have to learn certain things professionally in order to succeed in life and be able to get a better understanding of what's going on around you. Hence why it's the most common types of lifelong learning, because it contributes the most when it comes to lifelong learning. You also face many challenges in this type of learning environment. Professional learning is essential because it gives students a chance to sustain professional education and practices. All right, so now we're going to go to the different examples of lifelong learning. Like you said before, you said a science teacher teaching a science class. That's exactly correct, because as you can see, I have a teacher teaching a college algebra class, a teacher teaching a basic leadership course class, and teaching a sometimes training class. These are examples because with professional learning, you have to be like certified in that subject or criteria that you're teaching the class. So you have to have some type of professional knowledge on that course, like IE degree certification or just any type of professional knowledge before you can teach that to a class. Alright, so we're gonna go into personal learning. Personal learning is an instructive methodology that means altering knowledge for every understudy's qualities, requirement, abilities, and interests. Alright, so deeper into personal learning. Personal learning is vital because it helps humans navigate the world successfully, and this also helps understand the importance of a student or soldier's personal life and knowledge. Can you tell me before we go to the next slide, can you tell me what you think an example of personal learning is?
Like learning how to ride a bicycle or play the guitar?
Yeah, you're correct. And I'll explain that furthermore once we get to the next slide. So, example personal learning: a soldier learning the army values and following up, a person accomplishing a goal they set for themselves. Yes, riding a bike is a type of personal learning because that's just for your personal knowledge, and learn how to play the guitar just for like your personal gain for yourself, because you basically learn one more thing for yourself. Okay, the last one we're going to go over today is self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is when a person takes charge with or without help from their peers. Alright, so to go deeper into self-directed learning. Self-directed learners come up with learning strategies and assess the results on their own. As humans get older, they tend to become self-directed learners. Can you tell me why you think we become self-directed learners as we get older?
I'd say because for example, when you're a little kid, you don't know how to read, so you don't exactly have the ability to educate yourself that way. But as like an adult, someone who's more familiar with the concept of education, you can read and learn things on your own.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And another thing, just to put it out there, a lot of people often get personal learning confused with self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is when you're learning things on your own, like with the help of nobody else. More as personal learning, you're learning more like personal things and gaining knowledge from it, but you can get the help from other people if needed, if that makes sense to you. Yes.
So self-directed pretty much just means you don't have anybody that's helping you learn.
Roger, that's correct.
Okay.
Alright, so here is some examples of self-directed learning. A person teaching themselves how to play guitar. Another self-directed learning is teaching yourself how to do your hair, or i.e. teaching yourself how to do makeup or something. Alright, so we're going to go into the summary of what we went over today. Today we went into the concept of lifelong learning as a whole. And we also went over why is lifelong learning important, and went into a deeper meaning to lifelong learning. We also went over the 3 types of lifelong learning, which is professional learning, personal learning, and self-directed learning. We also went over a few examples of each of the different types of lifelong learning, along with the deeper meaning into those different types of lifelong learning as well. Do we have any questions of what went on today?
What would you say the most important type of learning is?
I know in the world it says professional learning is the most common, but to me, the most important to me is personal learning, because you're learning stuff on a personal level, and everybody needs the extra guidance to be able to learn personal stuff and accomplish personal needs.
So would you say you use personal learning the most?
Yes, I would actually say out of all the 3 types of learning, I would say I use personal learning the most. Any more questions?
Well, that'll be all.
All right, so that will conclude my lesson for today.